Yeah, I'm from the county, ain't talking about jail. Money get counted, like I'm paying the bill. Straight out of Harris County, talking about Houston. I'm in Georgia with dogs and tigers. I'm from the county, ain't talking about jail. Money get counted, like I'm paying the bill. Straight out of Harris County, ain't talking about Houston. I'm in Georgia with dogs and tigers.
Hey, welcome this week to the Harris County Coaches Show. I'm Rick Beach for Kudzu Sports. We got a good one this week with you. This week we are presented by the Whistling Pig up in Pine Mountain, or as we call it, the Pig. We appreciate everything they do, the Elliott family, and all their support of Harris County Athletics and Kudzu Sports. This week we're going to have baseball coach Tony Dimitri. Coach Dimitri, you there?
I'm here. How are you?
Good, bud. Appreciate you coming on. I was telling you, kind of hitting us on your little last minute. I appreciate you stepping up and you out there working, had to work at the softball game, and you doing some things. Y'all had a fundraiser going on, and you've been out there for a while handing out mums. So I know you've been a busy man.
Yeah, no, it's good to do. I think this one turned out pretty well. We ended up selling a pretty good bit of mums, and off-season fundraisers are always touch and go, but this one right here seemed to work out.
Yeah, it seemed a little random when I saw what was going on, but when you look at the support, you could have been selling potatoes, and I think you'd have slung a bunch of them out there in the county the way they support this baseball program. And, I was speaking with you at the softball game last week, and you were super excited about you finished up the baseball schedule coming up for 2025. Can you kind of give us a glimpse of what we can look forward to and some of the new things that, I was excited to hear about that the county may be excited to hear about as well?
Yes. So we have some new coaches on the staff. Coach Gilstrap's coming up from the middle school. He'll do our 9th grade. Coach Sykes is still here. Obviously, he'll move up to JV. Coach Casabucky's still here. Both of them obviously are alumni. I'm not quite sure where they'll go yet. We got Coach McGregor that's came in from Northside. He's going to help Coach Mathis with our pitching. And then, Coach Bice and Coach Fridley are going to drop down to the middle school. And they got 4 coaches down there now. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And then schedule-wise, we move into a whole new region. Mundy Mill, Stars Mill, Central Carroll, Northside, us, Griffin, Jonesboro. We play a 3-game series, and it's going to be a lot of fun to see who comes out on top.
Yeah, we were talking last week and the Alumni Day you're going to have this year, and it's going to be a full day of baseball, the 1st of February, that Saturday in there. And what brought that on where you thought about having all the teams competing on one day, one setting like that?
So we thought about doing an Alumni Day, which we're going to do February the 15th. And we're going to have a middle school game that morning, then a 9th grade game, then a JV game, and then a doubleheader varsity game. We're throwing around some ideas of doing a home run derby at the end of it with some of the alumni. Just something to get the Harris County baseball people back into play. And just they're excited about all the new stuff. The field looks good. The indoors here. So why not let them come enjoy it?
Yeah, it's it's been around 25 years since the school moved to the current location. Baseball field moved a little bit after that. And when you look at how far it's gone just in the last 5 years, so imagine for the guys that's played a while back, how much they've seen that one location change. Now, last year, obviously, now let's talk about on the field stuff. Last year you had 4 pitchers that were high-end starters. 3 of them go off to college. How hard is it going to replace that type of talent in your pitching rotation?
Well, I was talking to some of the coaches the other day, and when you come into talent like that right there, you wish you had them more than 1 year.
Right.
You wish you had more time to get to know them a little bit better, figure out what their pluses are, even what their minuses are, and then see if you can build on that. We got a good group of arms coming back. We're just not as experienced, but the talent level is going to be just as good, if not better. It's just they're not there yet. It's going to take them a few years to get that to that level, but it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, last year I like Jacob. They're younger. Jacob Eber showed a lot of grit. That he was just tough. He made the right pitches. He didn't throw it extremely hard, but his pitchers like that pitched a little bit last year. Hudson King pitched a little bit in relief, and we're excited about getting to see them coming up now. In Harris County, everybody knows the future's coming up, and now they're freshmen and sophomores in the high school. What's this transition kind of been like for you, seeing these kids that you've known obviously since they were kids coming up with of course with Will and Caden being around them, but just now that they are these young men that we've all been waiting for when they get to the high school level.
Yeah, this group is talented, like you said. They still have to play the game. Just because they are talented, they still got to get out there and make the plays. They're going to give us more depth. That's kind of what we were missing a little bit last year. We have more depth now to where we can move people around to get the best fit. And then, like you said, with the guys pitching, it may be now where they only go 3 innings and we have to roll another person out there for another 3 and then try to close it with 1. I don't know if we're going to have that guy that's going to go 7 innings. So, yeah. But like I said, the talent's there. And we may struggle a little bit early just because of the unknown, but by mid-season, they'll be seasoned, they'll be ready to go. And that, just playing the game the way I've seen a lot of these kids play, and the sophomore class and the junior class, I mean, we're going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, we look back last year, obviously the long losing streak was less than ideal, but the way y'all finished coming up a game away from winning the region against McIntosh, what do you think that did for these guys that are coming back, knowing that they did come back from that losing streak and how grim things looked early on, and then how hot y'all finished?
Yeah, nobody likes to go through a losing streak like that. I was probably one of the more anxious ones, but I couldn't show it just because the kids needed to figure out what we were asking and what we were trying to get them to do. And it took that time for them to develop. And they've never been on the field together. And that was the other thing. When you don't play much baseball together and you're thrown out there together, it's going to take 7 games or longer to figure out how to gel and how to get together, especially with new staff coming in. You got to learn new philosophies. And then once they figured that part out, it took off. But again, a year under us, a year in the system, a year getting things going, it ought to be an easy transition because those 8th graders were able to do it last year also, even in our 9th grade level. So they've been around it also.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, last year's team was incredible to watch the way they finished. And then the adversity they went through the season. You look back at Fisher's injury happened at the worst possible, which was never a good time for an injury, but in region play right at the beginning, North Side Series, your D1 pitcher goes down with a finger injury. And it just seemed like what could go wrong did go wrong, but somehow y'all rallied around one another. And like I said, you came out within a game of beating a good McIntosh team for the region. And I think that was incredible.
Look, McIntosh is a great team, but, and I'll still say it, that we were one of the better teams last year that was so inexperienced together. And for them to pull off 2 victories against McIntosh the way we did and to compete after starting, I think 1-3 in the region and then coming back and having that opportunity, it showed the energy and fight and belief that the kids had. And it took all 23 kids. And that's one thing we preached. It wasn't just one thing because we had injuries. Fisher went down. Malstaff picked up. McLemore's coming back from an arm injury.
And Coach Dimitri just faded out. Let's see if he pops back in. It was an incredible turnaround. We hear him. There he is.
Yeah, sorry. No, just the injuries that pushed us over the top. So yeah, that was something that we preached. It took everybody, and it seemed to work out.
Yeah, when people got real. McIntosh was undefeated in the region coming into that series at the end of the year. That we took 2 out of 3. And the atmosphere at the stadium, y'all did the white out. It was an incredible atmosphere. Well, I know you're super busy handing out the mums and stuff, but I did want to ask you one more thing before we got off here, Coach. Sure. That's not baseball related. Let's talk about this weekend, Saturday night. What's your predictions on the game?
Well, obviously, I'm an Alabama fan. My wife's a Georgia fan. She's diehard. Went to Georgia. We cannot watch the game together. We sit in separate rooms. Caden has a travel ball tournament this weekend, so we'll be out on that. So I'm sure either we'll be watching baseball and I'll watch it on my phone, or we'll be watching it where we're staying at. But I'm going to say 24-20 Alabama.
I can go with that. I can dance with that. Low scoring type game. It's always around that here lately. It always seems to be. If you can get to 30 in that game, that's your automatic winner. But the SEC championship didn't even get to 30, so
Yeah.
I can see that. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of such a busy day. I know y'all trying to get everything knocked out before the storm comes in. So I appreciate you, Coach.
Sure. Thank you. Glad to be on the show.
All right, and that's all we got this week. Be sure to tune in Friday night for the Northside football game, whether you be in person. So we'll see y'all next week on the Coaches Show.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right, bud.